Welcome everyone to the CFO Swinger Watch Report technical analysis video for the week of November 11th through 15th. Now, if you guys want to know the top-down approach to how we generate the following actionable swing trade ideas, make sure you guys read the entire CFO Swinger Watch Report before you watch this technical analysis video. The research provided in the report is to be applied to the following trades so that you can execute without worry as long as you follow the entire 3-point game plan to a T, which is also given to you in great detail. With that, let's get into the markets. So the S&P 500 this week is going to be a very simple outlook for us from a technical angle because we've had a massive euphoric impulsive move to new all-time highs, and that brought us right to that crazy and absolutely amazing whole number target of $600. Now we're off by about 36 cents, or exactly 36 cents, since last Friday's highs was at $599.64, but we got very close to it. Now, the only thing that we need to be looking out for this week is a potential blow off the top move if we see a massive, quick, and a very liquid move over $600 and possibly, reaching at least 602 before we see an immediate rejection down. Now again, this is just a simple hypothesis as what to look out for, because again, we are in uncharted territory, right? We're in a new whole number level of $600. So if you guys didn't know, since I would say around 2023, the markets have doubled, right? Especially with this $600 target being reached by the market. And so if we do see a massive rejection where we see a lot of sellers just waiting to hit that sell button to short, well, we need to watch out for that, right? And there's a lot of room left to the downside if we decide to not hold any of the supports that were made on every single intraday time frame from the previous 3 trading days. Again, the previous 3 trading days were mostly emotion and euphoric, impulsive breakouts to new all-time highs. So again, I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a rejection from a blow off the top move somewhere around 601 or 602, and then an immediate continued move lower as we break all of those intraday supports that were just simply made due to a high emotion, a high excitement of emotion. And we can see a potential for the price to continue to fill in this tiny gap that we see here from Wednesday to last Thursday's candlesticks, and maybe even retest the Wednesday's low, which was at $585.39. Okay, now with that in mind, let's take a look at one single market cap, which was the small caps. And the reason why I want to bring this up is that, well, the Russell 2000 is personally a core position for me, and that means I have a large position in this one. And the Russell 2000 has had a massive move up last Wednesday, and in fact for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we saw the prices still holding its current new 52-week highs. Now, unfortunately, we are not yet to the new all-time high price print, which we saw back in 2021, late 2021, sitting at $244.46. Now, that's not too far away. And in fact, we're nearly at my end of the year target of $240. And based on how the previous 3 trading days have currently acted so far, I might just have to revise my end of year target to at least the next major whole number level of $250. Now, I don't want to get too ahead of myself here because obviously we have not hit 240 just yet, or even retested the previous all-time high price print, or the current all-time high price print. So again, I don't want to be too ahead of myself, but I do need to make sure that I am still adjusting my targets to the current market action of the Russell 2000. But so far, it seems like we really want to stick to the highs here and continuously, potentially, consolidate and move sideways, and maybe even slowly bring us higher until we hit 240 this week. Right, so maybe smaller, higher highs and higher lows that will contribute the overall price action to finally hit that end of the year target that I've had for months at 240. Now, the only thing that we need to see the price holding as a new level of support is this $233 level. And again, this was a previous profit target that I had, and it was actually the maximum profit target or price target that I've had for months, right? And so I'm really glad that the price was able to break over 233 overnight between Tuesday and Wednesday, and was able to retest and actually hold and flip it to a new level of support on Wednesday, and we continued to close higher on Wednesday. And obviously on Thursday and Friday, we began to see that small sign of consolidation. Okay, so for this week, all we need to see is some good consolidation and possibly a quick retest up to 40, and we are set for Russell 2000 for the rest of the week. Okay, and that brings us to the first swing trade idea for this week, PRCT. Now, this one is not really a biotech company, even though you guys can see that it says Biorobotics Corporation, but this is a company that's more involved in the medical technology of the healthcare sector, right? So it's basically a medical device company, to be a bit more specific, right? So they provide some tech that is through medical devices. And PRCT has had recently a very, very good earnings report and a very good earnings reaction. And this earnings reaction was able to really just thrust the price higher into a new all-time high price print and over this major resistance level at $86. And for the past about 2 weeks or so, we've been able to see the price holding over this earnings day's lows, and at the same time, it began to tighten up underneath a new all-time high resistance level of $99, or specifically $99.50. Again, they're both whole numbers, so if you guys want to use 99 and $99.50, doesn't really matter. It's only a 50-cent difference, right? As long as you guys know that there is a significant level of resistance sitting at this area of $99 or $99.50. Now, what I really like about this current price action is that, well, if we take a look on the weekly time frame, this stock has been just moving straight up and into this right corner of your screen. And I really like to see that, especially when this stock recently had an IPO back in 2021, and that's only 3 years ago. But again, this is late 2021, so I would say this stock is still in its infancy, right? And I still believe that the fact that this IPO has been able to move towards the right corner, the top right corner of the screen, well, I can basically assume that this stock will continue to move to the upside. And I've provided a lot of good reasons, a lot of fundamental reasons in the CFO Swinger Watch Report itself. So make sure you guys go back to the report itself to read the full breakdown of this swing trade idea. Now, back to the technicals here on the daily time frame. Okay, so with that weekly time frame in mind, right? If you take a look at the volume here, right? So right after the massive earnings volume candlestick, we saw an immediate move back down in the volume, right? The daily volume candlesticks, or the volume bars, if you guys want to call it. And these volume bars have been clearly in a very constructive move down. And at the same time, simultaneously, we're seeing the price constantly making higher lows, but at the same time, tightening up really well underneath this new all-time high level of $99.50. And so with this volume here and this price action, we like to call it a VCP, a volume contraction pattern, right? Where we see the volume contracting simultaneously with the price tightening up underneath a major all-time high resistance level. And that usually leads into, right? So this very, very tight consolidation with lowering volume, with contracting volume, begets a larger, more impulsive breakout to the upside to continue this massive gap up, this earnings gap up that we had a couple weeks ago. And so the conditions are perfect. The technical conditions are absolutely perfect for another run up to the upside, possibly a very, very large impulsive breakout to new all-time highs. All right, so again, if you guys want to take a look at the entire game plan for this trade with the stop loss and entry points and profit targets, make sure you guys go back to the report itself. And last but not least, let's take a look at our second swing trade idea for this week. DDOG. So this one is an old friend of ours, right, and an old dog of ours, datadog. And DDOG has had a pretty splendid quarterly earnings report, and I have provided all the details on that in the actual full breakdown of this name in the report. So again, as a last reminder, make sure you guys read the report. And so with such fantastic earnings report and showing such amazing quarterly growth, the stock price is actually lagging. And in fact, the actual earnings reaction was very timid, and I was pretty surprised at that. And the following day, last Friday, we actually saw a pretty weak price action and tape all the way up into the close. And so that got me scratching my head for a potential dip buy, maybe in the near-term future, maybe this week. And the reason being is that, well, first of all, from a technical perspective, right, the price is now fully out of this descending consolidation, and it's kind of an imperfect consolidation, but nonetheless, okay, a nice descending consolidation, and the price was able to break out of it in early October, which was also a very good relative strength compared to the overall markets. And again, the overall markets were pretty weak, or basically not doing anything, much of anything at all, volume-wise as well, in early October. But DDOG, on the other hand, was making an active breakout over this nice descending resistance trend line, and out of this and away from this descending consolidation. And so far, the price has been able to stick over this descending resistance trend line, and obviously over my major horizontal resistance level sitting at $118 or 118.50 and 123.50. And in fact, so far for the past, I would say around almost a month or so, the price has been consolidating between around 134 and this previous resistance level of $123.50. Now, I would not want the price to come back down to retest this previous and initial breakout resistance level of $118.50, because that would mean the price will be officially below my daily 200 and daily 50 SMAs, and those are my long-term SMAs, and I would not want the price to be below both of these two SMAs, because that could indicate that the price in the longer term perspective is weakening, right? And the trend can potentially be a nice longer term downtrend. So again, let me restate that one more time. I do not want the price to come back down and retest this previous initial breakout resistance level of $118.50, right? I really want to see the daily 50 SMA continuously climbing up and curling up higher as it is doing now, and eventually break over and cross over this daily 200 SMA, giving us that infamous golden cross, which ultimately gives us that go signal for a longer term perspective on this ticker. And so for DDOG, I really want to see a very nice bounce entry this week around this 123.50 level, or possibly a good retest of this daily 200 SMA, since we got at least 2 official retests as the price began to consolidate between 123.50 and 133. Now, for me personally, I would not want the price to retest the daily 200 SMA again, but judging by how last Friday's price action went, along with the elevated volume right after the earnings candlestick here, there is that slight chance that we can see a push below 123.50 and possibly a retest of this daily 200 SMA, which can give us that nice bounce entry point, but again, riskier entry point at 122.10. All right, and so again, the full breakdown and 3-point game plan involving the entry points, stop losses, and profit targets or price targets are all in the report. So make sure you guys read that. All right, so that is it for this video. If this technical analysis video was very, very insightful, but most importantly, applicable, make sure you guys leave a like down below. And if you aren't subscribed yet, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Now, if you guys are one of the people who are watching this video when it just became public and want to watch this video a day earlier when it's private, all you need to do is become a member of the many readers of the CFO Swinger Watch Report and a member of the private CFO Discord. You can get 50% off for your first 30 days. It's a first come, first serve basis, so all you need to do is DM me on Instagram at ChartsFocus1 to claim your spot. Again, my Instagram handle is ChartsFocus1. Good luck, and I'll see you all tomorrow morning.